morning, beautiful friends. How are you doing today? Today, I'm going to attempt to do a tutorial on my Comingo Burst of Kindness beanie, but please have grace with me. I purchased this stand and we'll see if it works. But for the most part, what I'm thinking of doing is basically recording each row as I do it. That way I can kind of talk through the steps. It's going to be a pretty long video, and I'm going to use the rest of this cake for Premier Just Yarn. Premier Just Worsted Value. It's a 4-weight, and the recommended hook size is a 5.5, but since I'm making this a large for an adult male, I'm gonna go with a 6. And basically, the concept of the burst of kindness, honestly, you can start with any multiples that you want, but for the Comingo stitch, it has to be a multiple of 5. So that we're gonna try it. We're gonna do what we can, and hopefully this will be done today. Definitely, if you want to stick around, thank you. This is in the color Sage. I have so much of this. I feel like I could get like 3 or 4 hats. I do have one completed with this hat. If you haven't seen that video, that was a pretty long video. Okay, so row 1 is basically going to be a magic circle. And to do that, I like to do the double magic circle, only because it's more secure in my opinion. So we're gonna chain 1, go around, got 2 loops on your hook, go in the stitch and pull through that stitch, and go through 2 and go through 2. That's your first double crochet, and then you're going to do 9 more, so you should have a multiple of 10. I'm just gonna crochet around the tail. Okay, so that should be 10. We'll count the legs. So 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10. Okay, so that is 10. We're gonna do the magic, which is basically pull a little bit. The first one to go in, which is this one. Excuse me. Pull that one first. See how it cinches it, and then pull your tail, and now you have a nuzzle. No, just kidding. Okay, so then you're gonna slip stitch to the top of that stitch. Now this was a mock double, so it's those 2 stitches there. sorry. And then you just slip stitch. And that is row 1. Okay, so for row 2, I had to change the setup because the tripod was not the best. But since you slip stitch to the top of that stitch, you're going to do a double crochet in that same stitch. And I start with a mock double. So that's 1. And then you're going to go around the post of that stitch. That's 2. Basically, you're going to repeat that all the way around. So 1 on top, and 1 around the post. And these are double crochets, by the way. At the end of row 2, you should have 20 stitches. I'm just going to crochet and then I'll meet you back. Okay, and we have 1 more left, which is this one here. Go 1 on top, 1 around the post, just kind of pull that tail, and then you're going to join to the top of that first double crochet. There you have it, and you should have 20. And I'm going to count the bees. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and this one here is 20. There you go. Row 2. Okay, so for row 3, we are going to start the double crochet cluster. And what you do with that is basically start 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, but then you're not going to complete it. So let me just show you. So I'm going to start the double crochet here. go through the first 2 loops, but don't finish it. Go through the next stitch, go through the first 2. Remember, don't finish it. You should have 3 loops on your hook, and then go through all 3. So that's going to be considered 1 stitch. Now, because we're on row 3, we need 3 stitches. So you're going to put 1 more in that stitch that you just came out of. So that's 2. And then you're going to do a front post on the 3rd stitch. And that's 3. We'll repeat it one more time so you can see it a little bit clearer. And I'm still carrying this tail. So you go in the stitch with a yarn over and pull through the first 2. You still have 2 loops on your hook. Go into the next stitch, go through 2. Now you have 3. Pull through all 3. Now you're going to yarn over and do 1 double in that next, or in that same stitch, I should say. So that's 1 and that's 2, and you're going to go around the post. That's 3. So basically on row 3 you should have 3 stitches: a cluster stitch, a double crochet, and a front post. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep going. I'll meet you guys when we get back here. Last stitch, and sorry about the water machine. Okay, so at the end of this row you should have 30. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of that faux double crochet. There you have it, row 3. Alright, so we're going to go to row 4. Row 4 is going to be just a little bit different. You're going to basically start row 4 for the rest of the rows, but let's just get through row 4. So you're going to do your decrease cluster on these 2 stitches here. Just go through 2, hold, go in the next stitch, go through 2, got 3 stitches on the loop, and then go through all 3. Now that's considered 1 stitch. Now the next stitch you're going to go into is the one with the front post. At this point you're going to increase, which is just 2 double crochets on top of the stitch with the front post. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then go around the post is 4. So at the end of row 4 you should have 40 stitches altogether. We'll do it one more time so you can see without the mock double. So do a cluster, go through 2, go in the next stitch, go through 2, yarn over and go through all 3 stitches. That's considered 1 stitch. And then in the next stitch you're going to put 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then do a front post on the front post stitch. Okay, I'll let you finish the rest and meet you back on the last section. We're at the last section, so we're going to do a decrease, cluster, and then an increase, and then around the post. At the end of row 4, you should have 40 stitches, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of this stitch. And it's going to start to cuff, but as you can see, it's starting to turn a little bit in regards to the stitch. Okay, so for row 5, you're basically going to have 50 stitches at the end of this row, but you're going to start the row with a cluster decrease, and then you're going to do a double crochet here. When you get to the post stitch on top, you're always going to increase, so always start with the cluster and then increase at the end and front post. Hopefully that didn't confuse you. So we're going to go ahead and start the decrease. Just half, go in the next stitch and just half, and go through all 3. So that's 1. And because we have an extra stitch here, you're going to put 1 here. That's 2. And then we're at the post, so you're going to go ahead and add 2 here. 3, 4, and then you're going to put a post. And that's 5. So every row going forward, you can always start with a decrease, add a double crochet in each stitch, and when you get to the post, you're going to add an increase and then a front post. We're still in row 5, so at the end of row 5, you should have 50 stitches. And I'm just going to crochet. Try to stay in frame. I did turn on the light too. I couldn't see my stitches. this stitch. There you have it, row 5. It's gonna start to cut, but that's fine. At the end of row 5, you should have 50 stitches. Okay, so for row 6, same thing. Start with a decrease on this stitch here that you slip stitch in, and then the next stitch, which is this one here. Now, because we're on 6, we need 6 stitches, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do it. So go in the stitch with half, that's 1. Double crochet, 2, double crochet, 3, increase, 4, 5, front post, 6. So that's 6 stitches for row 6. At the end of row 6, you should have 60. So decrease and then 2 double crochets and then increase in the front post. Three more sections. Got one more section. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Front post is 6. And then slip stitch to the top of the cluster. There you have it, row 6. How are you doing? Just checking in. We've got to row 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, row 6 of the crown of the Burst of Kindness Commingle crown. Well, it's just a burst of kindness. Honestly, we're just gonna finish the crown to the number of stitches that we need, and then we're gonna put a pause on it. What I want you to do is complete this section and then come back for part 2, which will be the crown or the start of the body of the hat. Can we do that? I'm gonna record the last 2 rows, which is row 7 and 8, and then we'll come back. Honestly, this is the start of a crown for any beanie that you want to do. Remember the hand method? As long as it's as from the palm of your hand to the top of your finger. So technically, this is enough to fit me. But I'm not making this hat for me, so we're gonna keep going 2 more rows. And then I'll see you guys back for part 2. So thank you again for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys when we're finished with this video. And then go ahead and make your crown and be ready for part 2 if you want to participate. Okay, so for row 7, same thing. We're going to start with the decrease cluster, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets. Let's just work it together and see. So we're going to start with a partial double crochet cluster. That's 2, 1. Go in the next stitch, go through 2. So that's 1 stitch, and then you're going to do 1, 2, 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be your increase. And then you do a front post double crochet. So that will leave with 7. Just repeat that all the way around. At the end of row 7, you should have 70 stitches. So, okay, and then slip stitch to the top of the cluster. So here is row 7 completed. At the end of row 7 you should have 70 stitches. I would say if you stop here you would be at a medium, but we're gonna go for the large size. Alright, so last row of the crown, we're gonna go to row 8, which is gonna be at the end of this row 80 stitches. So same thing, start with a cluster decrease, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, increase, and then the front post double crochet. That'll give you 8 stitches. At the end of row 8 you should have 80, and it's gonna start to bowl up, but that's fine. Oops, sorry. Hold on, Alaska, I'm almost done. Uh-oh. See, this is why I have a hard time videoing. But I'm gonna leave it in. Last section. Let me hurry up so I can let that girl in before she knocks down my door. And front post. Hold on, do that again. And then slip stitch. There you have it. Row 8. Okay, there you have it. 8 rows of the crown, which is the Burst of Kindness crown in double crochet. And honestly, this is a large, an 80 count is a large with a 6mm hook. But I would say if you go down to a 5.5, then you can get a medium size. If you go down to a 5, then it'll be a regular size, something that will fit me, but just use the same count. This is the Burst of Kindness crown. We'll go ahead and do part 2 of working the body of the hat. But this can be the start of any beanie that you make, as long as you know how to do your stitch count. But for right now, this video, this is sort of, and then there goes my water. We're gonna do the Bursts of Kindness here, and just get this part done, and then I will see you in part 2. Thank you again for watching. Love yourself so you can love everyone else, and have a great day. Take care. Bye.